1996. My favorite albums, I guess, that I currently have. Let's just go with that. The 90s, kind of a lost decade when it comes to vinyl, especially in the US, maybe not so much in the UK. In my first collection, I had over 300 CDs from 1996. So I was heavily into what was going on. But since then, buying the vinyl, you can only buy so much, right? Or it's not reissued, or it costs a lot. But there's some great music in '96. Some of my real favorite albums came out in '96. So let's look at what I have here in my top 10 albums. And we're going to go through. I only have maybe 14 albums from '96, but there's some great ones. Um, these didn't make the top 10. There was Man or Astro Man Experiment Zero. Just a wonderful album. A lot of instrumental. It's a little bit surf guitar. There is some vocal in there, but just great stuff from that group. Real fun group. Red Cross came out with Show the World in '96. And yeah, Vinyl Richie got me into this group, and I have been enjoying Red Cross a lot. So that was very good. And then Bob Mould put out this. It was instead of Sugar, now he came out with Bob Mould. It was just self-titled, and that's what it actually looks like. This is from his box set, and so it's Bob Mould, 1996. Really good album. I liked it. Didn't quite make it. My 11th favorite album, it almost made top 10, but didn't quite, was R.L. Burnside. A lot of the blues critics did not like this whatsoever because John Spencer's Blues Explosion backs up R.L. Burnside. So it kind of becomes almost a mess at times, but it's a wonderful sloppy mess that's happening here on this album. R.L. Burnside had been touring with the John Spencer Blues Explosion, so they thought, let's just do this album. And I would say it's very highly energetic. You have on here Going Down South. There's Boogie Chillin' on here. Snake Drive was pretty cool. Yeah, it's the Tojo Toad Hitler. What the? But R.L. Burnside. Some great Southern rock. Southern blues, but it's more of a rural variety. R.L. has a very distinctive guitar sound, and with John Spencer Blues Explosion, they made a lot of noise. In the description, you'll see a link to a playlist. So I'm going to put samples from these albums on a playlist that you can pull up and listen to if you want to hear what some of this music sounds like, unless I can't get a sample, but generally you can. So obviously I'm recording this before I made that playlist, so I'm just going to assume it's all on there. So check that out. All right, so number 10, let's begin there. Number 10 out of Boston was the Swirlies. So the Swirlies, it's a band that maybe a lot of people don't know. It began as a shoegaze band. It was a pretty good shoegaze band. But this album, they decided to break out of the shoegaze mold, and they added a lot more synth-driven electronica to their music, along with even a few dance beats were popped in there. But it still has that kind of their usual angular noise type pop music going on. There's some strange things in there as they still do some experimenting, but there is definitely a touch of Stereolab happening. I would have to say, of the Swirly albums, this is probably their masterpiece, and it has a heck of a title. They spent their wild, youthful days in the glittering world of the salons. Okay. Wow. Brevity is not part of it. So the Swirlies, number 10. Number 9. I went for the Eagles. The Eagles. Oh my God, it's late. I'm tired. Eels. The Eels, and this is Beautiful Freak. And this was the debut album from the Eels, and the main person of the Eels is E. Okay? This album, it's eccentric and it's quirky. It is different. There are some wonderful pop tunes that are happening in here, and catchy. But the thing is, this album, it's just like tinges on despair and just downright meanness. I mean, there is just it just looks at some of these lyrics are just, they're tragic, and it's like anger going on. It just, the very first song, it starts with "Life is hard and so am I," and away it goes. It has the beautiful sounding song "Susan's House." The music is just beautiful, but the melody, it has an extremely dark message about. I mean, there's a kid laying in the street with a bullet in his head, and I just talk about how the paramedics strip him naked in front of everyone and put him in the body bag. That's what you're getting. Novocaine for the Soul is on here. My Beloved Monster, Your Lucky Day in Hell. Beautiful Freak. It is, there's a lot of darkness to this, but yet it's done to a pop beat. Very eccentric, very kind of quirky, really different. I had this CD, and I bought other Eels CDs, but this is the one I always listen to, so I bought that in vinyl from my friend Tice. That brings us to number 8, and number 8 is Unchained. Unchained by Johnny Cash. So this is the second Rick Rubin's album. Not as strong as the first, definitely not as strong as number 4, but it continued to bring Cash to a younger audience, to an audience that was into the grunge and into the alt. I mean, they took Rusty Cage from Soundgarden, and they put that on here. We have Tom Petty's Southern accents is on here. I mean, but you have traditional. I Never Picked Cotton. Rowboat, Spiritual, Country Boy. So I say the one Rose. But it's all done with beauty. Rick Rubin knew how to bring the best out of Cash, which is what he did. And so again, this is a mix of new and traditional music. It showed what Johnny Cash still could do. And he definitely was in the twilight of his life, but came back and really, he made a statement. And he brought the young fans back in. Number 7 is a tragic album. Sublime. I mean, the lead singer died 2 months before the album came out. And this album went huge. It had the hit, What I Got is on here. It is their third album, but it's their self-titled album. It was also their major label debut. But again, that Brad Noel, I believe, he died of a heroin overdose, so he never got to see what had happened. On this album, it's a fusion of California hardcore punk with light hip hop and reggae. And so, I mean, it likes to switch from that hardcore sound into kind of a sexy reggae number. So it jumps all over as they're trying to explore everything. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It took me really a while to really get into this album. First I just really wasn't digging it. This is a Vinyl Me Please version of it. Vinyl Me Please got bought out by another company, so I guess they're still around. I'm waiting for them to send me my first email saying, hey, come back, please come back. Maybe. Number 7, Sublime. Their best album, it's the one that everyone knows. Brings us to number 6, because 6 comes after 7. For those of you that don't know, if you're counting backwards, if you're going forward, don't do that. But we have Cake Fashion Nugget. Man, when I pop this thing, I go, holy smokes, that's fun. That's a fun album. And this was their second album, and it had the novelty hit on here, The Distance. We're going the distance. We're going for speed. What really caught my attention on Cake was the use of the trumpet. It was just, I thought it was just so cool, the sound of that trumpet as they were playing on here. But I mean, this has, you know, The Distance. Frank Sinatra's great. They do Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive, but they really kind of, they make it a very ironic, shall we say, okay, what they do with it. So it's definitely not Gloria's version on there. Yeah, this is just, it's a very fun album. It's one of my favorite from Cake. You can only listen to so much Cake. It's like you can only eat so much Cake, okay? After you eat so much, you get kind of a little nauseous on it. Same can be said with the group itself, but I really like this album, and there was one other Cake album that will come up later that we'll play, but there's a lot of sophomore humor, a lot of wordplay that they put into this. It's kind of like melodic white funk injected with some comedy is what you're getting, and a really cool trumpet. Cake, Fashion Nugget. Comes into our top 5. This, number 5, Moby's Animal Rights. The critics hated this. It didn't do well. Elektra dropped Moby. Moby went into such depression. He came so close to quitting music because he didn't know what to do. This was an important album for Moby. This is hardcore. Hardcore punk is in here because Moby grew up with the love of hardcore punk. He would go to New York, he'd watch these hardcore shows. And yet, you know, when you hear these first Moby albums, you go, you know, it's very atmospheric. It's very dance oriented. And you would think he had nothing to do with hardcore. He wanted to have a hardcore band. So by now he had grown enough, he was making enough that he says, okay, I can finally do the album I really want to do. And he did. And it almost destroyed his career. Myself, I bought this, I go, man, this is great. It introduced me to Mission of Burma because he did the song That's When I Reach for My Revolver. And his version is phenomenal. It is so good. I just fell in love with it. And then I find out it's from Mission of Burma, and I own all the Mission of Burma's catalog because of that, because of Moby. The music starts with Now I Let It Go, and it's very soft, so it seems like your normal kind of Moby transcendental type music. And then it hits Come On Baby, and it just roars, it grabs you, it smashes you in the face, slaps you around a little bit, punches you in the gut, kicks you in the nuts, and away it goes. That's what you get. You do get some great hardcore, but one of his most beautiful songs is on it. Second to the last song is called Living, and it's just a gorgeous song which starts with this little simple kind of piano, and it keeps building and building. It repeats, and it keeps repeating itself, and every time it repeats, it adds another layer of music to it. It is an incredibly gorgeous song that's on this with a lot which is mostly hardcore. So Moby's Animal Rights almost killed him, but I like it. Let's go on to number 4. Number 4, I just recently got in. I've been wanting this, and it took a while for me to get it. And actually, I've been putting this off till I got this. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Murder Ballads. Another very dark album. I mean, this is as dark as you can get. It says Murder Ballads, and it does not pull back. This is nothing but death in the most gruesome fashion. That's what you're going to get. It's a mix of traditional murder ballads and ones that he has written. It's just it's filled with morbid humor, but just sobering horror of how people are. I mean, there's a song that starts off, I believe, with Song of Joy about a father watching a serial killer kill his family. Yeah, I mean, that's something. Music itself, it alternates between kind of a blues feel, country, and even kind of a lounge jazz as he goes through these different things. And he has duets. He does 3 duets with Kylie Minogue, out of Australia, which is what a choice. And PJ Harvey, which to me made more sense. But they're very good when he does these. This album's not for the unhinged. If you're unhinged, please just stay away from this. So I just told you about it. If you're unhinged, you're going to go, well, that's the perfect album for me, so I need to have it. Well, does that make I'm unhinged? I'm going to have to think that one over now. But the music's catchy. It's interesting. There's some songs. Some of my favorite Nick Cave songs are on this. I am not a big Nick Cave fan, but I do have some of his albums that I really, really like. There's some that I have no interest in. But Murder Ballads is the one I've been wanting. So out of 1996, Murder Ballads. And again, there should be, hopefully some samples. Alrighty, number 3. This was a VCLT because I'd had no idea who this dude was. DJ Shadow. And introducing DJ Shadow. Basically, he's the mad scientist with beats. And my buddy Tim, his channel was, High Noon. High Noon Vinyl. Oh, jeepers. It's been many years. But once in a while it pops on. DJ High Noon. Oh, if Tim, you're watching, I apologize. But he sent me this because it was one of his all-time favorite albums, and I didn't know who it was. And it blew me away. It really was. He's the mad scientist with beats. He just seems to, on this album, he mixes countless obscure samples and special effects and just puts them into this hypnotic stew of music that really just makes your body want to groove. And it's fascinating. You can just sit there and listen, and you're just trying to hear what's going on and all the different things that are happening. There's a couple singles off this, Midnight in a Perfect World and Building Steam with a Grain of Salt. Those came off this album. But this is, for many people within the hip-hop, within the sampling community, it's like a Bible. It really shows what could be done. And yeah, I was really blown away by that. So DJ Shadow and Introducing. Wonderful album. Comes to number 2. And I think this is this group's best album. Stereolab and Emperor Tomato Ketchup. I don't even know how to what that means, Emperor Tomato Ketchup. It doesn't matter. The music's very, very good. It was the 4th album by Stereolab. On this album, they actually were getting fairly close to having recognizable pop melodies. And in fact, this was quite accessible. There's just a lot of really catchy hooks that are happening, but still packed with a lot of that avant-garde and experimental influences that they've been known for. So you're still getting a lot of that. They take these electronic drones and they just meld it in with kind of a sing-song melodies and that have string sections, and it just works great. There was a couple singles that came off this. You had the Noise of Carpet, and I believe Cybel's Reverie. Yeah, if yes, maybe those were big. I can't say I didn't know they were singles, but they were. And this became a very it was their most successful album to date, and it did quite well. I remember getting this on CD and go, man, this thing's really, really good. I already bought some Stereolab, but this really got my attention. So yeah, number 2, Stereolab, Emperor Tomato Ketchup, whatever that really means. I know what tomato ketchup is, I just don't get the Emperor part. Okay, number one in 1996, Beck Odelay. This blew me away. I mean, Mellow Gold was good. Then he had 2 kind of different, almost specialty type CDs he had put out. And then he came out with this. And for many years, this was his masterpiece until the odds. And I think that changed for me. But this was really his proper follow-up to Mellow Gold. And it has... If you were to think of the influences or how he takes the music, it combines, I would say, folk, country, hip hop, rock and roll, blues, jazz, easy listening, rap, pop, and puts it all into this, puts it all together, and it's crazy, and it's great. And it's wonderful, and he has so much going on. I mean, he has no boundaries. It flows from one genre to another. It flows seamlessly. It's dense. But it's intriguing. And it's just overflowing with ideas. It's like his brain was just exploded, and he had so much that he wanted to do. And every time you listen to this, there's something new. I mean, this had the Devil's Haircuts on here, the New Pollution, Where It's At is on here. There is so many great songs that, yeah, this is phenomenal, and really showed what Beck could do, and this really made his name. And it's still just a phenomenal sounding album, and really a favorite of mine. Again, I think in the aughts, though, he beat this, because then he found what true beauty is in music. So there it is, 1996. That's the albums I have from 96. There's a lot of other great albums, obviously, that came out in 96 that I don't have. Feel free to say what your favorite albums are. You know, I was only going to use what I have right here. If I had my old collection of CDs, man, we could have went forever, because there's so much more in there. But great year for music. There was a lot of good stuff. Was it the best? No, it wasn't the best year. There's some better ones coming up, I think. But still, most enjoyable. You could see, like, hard rock and all that was missing from all this. But electronica was really kind of taking over and becoming bigger at that time. Thanks for hanging out and doing this with me. I haven't done, really done a midweek right now, but things are slowing and getting better, so I'm having a little bit more time in my hands. So I do appreciate that, and look forward to seeing you on Sunday for the early morning Sunday show. Have yourself a great evening. Bye.